Hey, we back. It's
Like we never left.
back
Even
again.
better. Let's
Yes,
go.
who's back? Tell a friend. Tell all your friends. Cause your
Don't
boys,
forget.
your boys are back to annoy the shit out of you in your ears. And now for your visual pleasures, I'm gonna be on camera and I'll edit Tyler out.
We gotta he probably will. We gotta I just want to make a toast real quick before we get this even
Hey, I don't
popped
have a
off.
beer with me, but I'll toast my tea with you. That shit blurry.
Hey, this is the Eli apple. Okay. I'm gonna pop it. Let's go. This is the Eli apple. We're
Cheers.
getting absolutely burnt today after talking all this shit.
Hey, you made one good play.
Everything.
You made one good play, bro. You got to give him credit. You made one good play. I mean, we got a lot to talk about, but we're going to start it off.
Also wouldn't. The Bengals wouldn't have been in that position if Eli Apple didn't give up all the yards and touchdowns.
Absolutely, agreed. Now we'll start it off. We'll start it off today with the most recent news. Obviously, today was Conference Championship Sunday, and the Bengals beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship 27-24. Your boy guessed that shit on Friday morning at 8:26. I bet $10 and won 2,200. 26
let's go. Hey,
26 minutes after sports betting went live in Louisiana.
Shout out for sports betting going live in Louisiana on Friday. Thank you for the money.
Minutes after. Yeah, thank you finally to Ronnie Johns or something and the state police for finally getting this stuff done because we needed it. We've been waiting for a while. I've been talking about it. We were supposed to get it before our weekend, but we didn't. So we're happy to have it before AFC and NFC championship games, and
we made money this weekend.
And I made a lot of money this weekend.
Hey, I made a couple hundred. He made a couple thousand. We still going.
Scott made a couple hundred. More. Our boy Scott made a couple hundred. You know, we've been sharing bets and stuff like that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for the time in the future.
Absolutely.
Being able to bet and do all this.
Hey, now we can bet along with Gambino.
You know, hopefully in the future we'll get a little sponsor, you know, FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstool, who knows? Hey, I'll take any of them. I don't care. Somebody wants me to only bet on their platform, bet, give me money. No pun intended.
I will.
So that's the most recent news. The far distant news, since Tyler doesn't know how to record with me and I'm just lazy to do it by myself because that's boring. The most distant news is the last time we recorded was before the Raging Cajuns played in the Sun Belt Conference Championship, which they won against App State. That was a long time ago. But we won that game. We won that game 24-16. It was a close game. It was a good game. But we were there. We got to be on the field. You know, I had a whole cover art made for that episode, and we never recorded. We hadn't recorded. So 2 weeks later, we went to the Sun Belt Championship, which we won 36-21 against Marshall. Funny story time. Me and my buddy Josh went to Bourbon because obviously it was in New Orleans. Went to Bourbon.
I won the Sun Belt Championship. That was the bowl.
New Orleans Bowl. My bad. I repeated myself about the Sun Belt Championship.
We were at the Sun Belt Championship.
We were at the Sun Belt Championship, and we went to the New Orleans Bowl and met the quarterback's girlfriend and the punter's girlfriend. I'll tell you what, the quarterback's girlfriend was hyping him up, and he had 96 yards and an interception. So she needs to break up with him, I guess. Let me make sure I'm not crazy on those stat lines, but I'm pretty sure that is exact. Yep, 99 yards and one interception, 15-26. Hell of a guy there, huh? Pretty funny, but you know, it was a fun time. We finally did it. On other depressing news, which everybody kind of expected, LSU played Kansas State in the Texas Bowl. Say that 5 times fast. Texas Bowl. They lost 42-20. Obviously, everybody knows the story at that point. We didn't have a scholarship quarterback on the roster at that point, besides Garrett Nussmeier.
Nope. We had a wide receiver starting at quarterback.
Right. We had John Trey Kirkland, which is phenomenal.
He torched the Kansas State defense like what, 3 times?
3 touchdowns, boy. 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. And
Hey,
it wasn't just
listen,
like
if
10-yard
you're
touchdowns.
just-
This man torched the Kansas State defense.
if you're just listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, Google Podcasts, immediately following me and Tyler recording this episode, I'm going to make a YouTube page because we're finally doing videos. If you're not following us on YouTube, go look for us at YouTube, and we apologize ahead of time because we're going to try to get used to it, having to actually say stuff, because now we're trying to not just speak to each other in code face to face, because that's just how we talk. So it's a little different because we're not used to it. So just hang with us, Another LSU news, Brian Kelly sadly doesn't have the number 1 transfer class in America right now because Lane Kiffin got those 2 recruit, the quarterback and wide receiver or something like that from USC, but we're right there. It's very, very close. Plus, we have the number 18 regular recruiting class this year so far.
It kind of depends on where you look. Some places
very well. Rivals is different than 24/7. We go off of 247sports.com. That's usually the most accurate and updated, but sometimes if Rivals hears it first, Rivals is going to be more updated. But typically, if neither one of them hear it, 24/7 is going to get it first. But 24/7 also has a lot more affiliations with universities, so that's why.
Yeah.
They have sites like OU Insider. That's a 24/7 affiliate. So right now we do not have a top 15 class, but to be in the top 20 in high school recruiting, the number 2 transfer portal class puts us at the number 8 overall recruiting class for 2022. And that's absolutely wild in a transition year. Absolutely wild.
This man they talked down on this man.
That they were, like you just said, talking down on, talking so much crap on. He's not a good culture fit, and we've talked about it plenty of times. The last episode we recorded was the day before the episode was actually released, the day that he was announced as head coach. And we said Nick Saban wasn't a culture fit. Les Miles wasn't a culture fit. They both won national championships. The only one that has been in the last 20 years is Coach O. And he was a perfect culture fit because he's from freaking Lafourche Parish. Like, come on, bro. He
just lost it. When he won, he lost it. It was something happened.
There was so many things going.
The culture was gone.
With the Title IX allegations, which are now dropped off of him name, not the whole thing, but his name has been dropped off of it. So that's a plus. But that man's sitting pretty on $17 million. He don't give a crap. So
and look, I mean, when you look at it, so we haven't been able to talk about it, obviously, with Brian Kelly and everything going on that we haven't recorded. So I'm going to speak a little bit of piece on that, and obviously we get more context because it's been a little bit, and we now have what he's doing in the transfer portal and recruiting and everything. I mean, you really look at it, this man, like I just said, this man got talked down on. Oh, you're not going to do whatever. Oh, look, you were in Notre Dame. You still couldn't do anything. Okay. What is what we said? No one saw it coming, but what is what we said? Something that we have talked about that, oh my, I have lost my partner. He is in the blur. What is happening right now? something that was said.
Sounds like a scary movie. He is in the blur.
For real. Something that was said whenever in conversations between myself, Griffin, and Scott, was that, hey, look, he has the chance to do well because you got to think what the recruits he can get at Notre Dame. The guy has to have kids that are getting 3.9 GPAs over there, 4.0 GPA. I mean
3.2 something.
Okay, but still, the guys coming to LSU
the scores got to be high. The SAT scores, HCT scores got to be high, and they got to be Catholic. So
exactly. So you're not going to get those same recruits. You open up a world of a world of abilities in a sense. So like you just have a whole just crazy system that he can now go recruit in, and you're seeing it. Look, we said that today. Like this man went out and got gritty to come out to LSU for Perkins and all these other guys, a bunch of 4 or 5 star kids, that will probably put us in the top 10 in recruiting if they sign with us. He went out and got Gritty. And if anybody doesn't know, if you know sports, you know who the Gritty is because half of them do the Gritty now. The dude that created Gritty, that created it, literally was there doing it with him.
The song that Jamar Chase got the dance from was Justin Jefferson made it famous. Jamar Chase started it at LSU in 2018, but it became big in 19 when Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were doing it the 15-0 season. So Brian Kelly just looks so corny, and I agree with everybody saying it's corny, but guess what?
He's adjusting to his environment, though.
What I don't absolutely that I saw,
and that's what he's doing. He's bringing back the culture of LSU, the fun, the hype, everything that LSU's all about. He's bringing it back, bro. Like Tiger Stadium's going to be insane when it comes time for September.
What I saw a lot of people saying is, and this is everybody but people not from Louisiana was saying, everybody from Louisiana that are fans of LSU know the best way to like have a good culture at LSU is to embrace Louisiana culture and embrace the LSU culture that's already there. There's different ways to build cultures within a football team. You could do it your own way. You can have your own type of style and bring it in, but without taking these little tidbits from the culture that's already there. But what Brian Kelly's doing is taking, like you said, he got Gritty. Like that's just such a wild thing to think. People were making fun of the fact that he was trying to have an accent, which I don't ever think he did really, but the fact that he danced with Walker Howard, now he's dancing with Danny Lewis, and everybody's like, bro, if I was that kid, I think it's so weird. And it's like, well, he don't think it's weird. He just wanted 7.8 million freaking views. So shut up. That dude's TikTok following went up like 12K just in a day. Like he had 7.8 million views just off of his posting of the video, not mentioning everybody else that shared it. On Twitter, 7.8 million views. So he probably looking at about 15 million views with how many times it was shared. So when you look at stuff like that, Brian Kelly's embracing people. Danny Lewis is from Westgate, right there in New Iberia. Like he was committed to Cincinnati, and then Mike Denbrock became our offensive coordinator, and he decommitted from Cincinnati the day that happened.
Exactly.
He got an LSU offer. He decommitted from Cincinnati. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that Brian Kelly, everybody's like, oh, Brian Kelly don't recruit. Brian Kelly don't recruit. I don't care if he recruits. I care if he hires people that can. If he don't want to do it, that's fine as long as he hires people that does it. We lost Corey Raymond and Mickey Joseph in the same season. We got Cortez Hankton and Frank Wilson. We got three motherfuckers that went to St. Augustine in New Orleans.
Exactly. But it goes back to Danny Lewis from Westgate. And what does he do? What did Danny Lewis see whenever we won a national championship? Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, they're doing the Gritty. That became the thing. So who does he go get? The dude that started that.
Harold Perkins
goes get that. That's what I'm saying. He's going to get the dude that started the Gritty. He's going to get dudes from the culture. We talk about UL with the culture, with the culture, you know what I mean, with the UL. He is doing that. This man is literally embracing the culture, embracing Louisiana. The only way to, and like you said, the only way you can do good at LSU is if you become LSU. You have to become Louisiana. You have to be what LSU is. And that, look, no one out of the state is ever going to realize that unless you're an LSU fan. Like, you're never going to understand that unless you're an LSU fan or you're from Louisiana. Like, you're never going to get that.
I agree.
Like, you if you're going to win in LSU, you have to be LSU. And LSU is its own thing. Louisiana is its own thing. Everybody says Louisiana is its own culture. Well, it is. And if you don't embrace it, you're not going to prevail here. Look, Les Miles embraced it. Was it? Coach O was it. Nick Saban embraced it. You know, look, the past three coaches have championships. So guess what?
That's another thing. Like the past three coaches, 3 out of the last 4 coaches that we've had and hired haven't been culture fits.
No.
And guess what? We got 3 national championships. And the only reason we don't have
Coach O was probably the only person that has fit the culture of coaching at LSU in probably 20, 30 years.
Yep.
And look, I don't know all the coaches that long back, but I can easily say that he's probably one of the only coaches that was from LSU and fit, or not from LSU, but from Louisiana or from Lafourche Parish, and fit that LSU culture, diehard LSU fan his entire life. The only person to ever fit that exact specific
Northwestern. He went to LSU.
Yeah.
He went to actually start. He wasn't good in college, so
anyway, yeah.
But comes back after years at USC and Ole Miss and everything like that to come and be a head coach, and took us to a national championship in his third year. So
I will forever be grateful for everyone that dogged Coach O, for everything, and I'll say this, and I want to say this about the fans, because everybody dogged Coach O and it was time to go. Look, we said our piece about Coach O. We said it was time for Coach O. I will never dog Coach O, but it was time. I'll never say Coach O. I'll never be mad about Coach. I'll never, and I think I said this before, I'll never be mad at Coach O. I'll never feel some type of way. I am forever grateful for Coach O. I love him. He will forever be one of my favorite coaches, just because of who he is and what he did for us, him and Joe and Jamar and Justin, all those guys. But it was time. It was time. The culture was not there. The fun, like this stuff that you're seeing in the recruiting, like all this stuff, it wasn't there. Like it wasn't there. And you always saw stuff like that before. Like dudes were hype, making videos, like, oh, you never saw, like you didn't see that after we won the national championship. Like you really didn't. It was weird. Like if there was something that changed, don't know what it was, never know what it is, but there's something that changed, and now it's back. Brian Kelly has brought that it factor, in a sense, back. In my personal opinion, we're going to see if it transfers to the field, but he's brought the it factor and the hype and all that stuff back.
So I'll just partially correct you. You're not wrong. But the only way I'll tweak what you said is the fact that he didn't bring the it factor back. He brought people that brought the it factor back.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Technically, he did bring it back, but he got guys like Cortez Hankton, who just won a national championship with Georgia, and moved laterally into the same position. Like, and that's what I'm saying. There was no reason for him to come here, but he did, because guess where it is? Louisiana.
Exactly, and that's my point.
You got Frank Wilson, who's a head coach at McNeese, and comes to LSU to be a running backs coach. Like, he's probably making the same amount of money, but like the title is not even close to the same. And Cortez Hankton comes and moves laterally with that. Then we get Matt House, who just got eliminated by Joey B, as our defensive coordinator, who was a linebackers coach for the Kansas.
Hey, we just get him a little bit earlier. Now he can start with the workouts.
Exactly, to get him a little bit early. We got Denbrock from Cincinnati, which is you see their offense for the past. They had a solid offense. Yeah, you can talk about their opponents and whatnot, but their offense still look good. I don't care who they go against. Now he's got higher talented players to put that offense into play with. So when you start looking at what Brian Kelly's done over the past 3 months since he got hired,
and it was silent. Like you look at it, like
just
like
2 months.
You look at it, and I think we had kind of said that, like, man, like he started making his little hires here and there, like he was filling the off-field staff first, and he did it the right way. He filled that off-field staff first, and then he started the splash. Then he started the splash hire, the on-field hire, like big names, Matt House, pulling Georgia's guy, like all those, like it was just like, what is this dude doing over there? Like in the span of 3 months, this man just assembled probably what may be the greatest assortment of coaches, like the most prestigious assortment of coaches, honestly. Like if you really think about it, like before they got big, not Alabama, because look, you think about, like, obviously Alabama, all those coaches go on to be something bigger, but these guys all have come from other places already. Look, Scott Cainton, Matt House, those guys. I mean, Super Bowl champions, national champions, dudes like that that have been on those kinds of teams are now like all of a sudden just coming to LSU. It's just like along with the players, and it's like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? Like what? Like Brian Kelly is shutting everybody up.
No,
Everyone that doubted Brian Kelly, he's shutting them up.
For the fact that the day that Danny Lewis got the LSU offer and Brian Kelly hired Mike Denbrock, or announced that he was going to hire Mike Denbrock, he decommitted from Cincinnati. Then you look at Trevante Citizen. Frank Wilson got hired, decommitted from Texas A&M.
Right away.
Same thing with Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins was like committed.
That house got hired.
Trevante Citizen was committed to LSU, decommitted, committed to A&M. Frank Wilson got hired, decommitted from A&M.
Decommitted from A&M.
Now we
He's
got
probably gonna come back to us.
Who has hinted so many times at LSU or Florida or A&M or whatever, and I don't even think A&M's in his top 3 anymore. Is it?
I'm not sure, but A&M was kind of up there. I know that was kind of a consolidation pick.
It's Florida and LSU. That's definitely 2 of the top 3.
And they didn't have, like, they had Dan Mullen and we didn't know what we were doing, so he committed to Texas A&M because look, at the end of the day, when he did, Texas A&M looked better, and I don't blame him. Like, I get it, Texas A&M looked better, I get it. But then he's realizing, okay, well, one, Florida looks a lot better now because Billy's over there, and he's going to do good things, my personal opinion. He's probably not going to beat us, but he's going to do good things. And then look at what Brian Kelly's doing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, all these dudes are seeing what Brian Kelly's doing. It's like, oh, man, maybe I want to go play for that guy. Like, this is looking really good. Like, this is not looking bad at all. Like, okay, cool. Like, he was in Notre Dame with all the classic people, but now this dude is assembling a freaking hit squad in the sense. Like, this man is assembling the best of the best right here. Like, this is insane. And it may be 1 year, it may be 2 years. I personally think, I don't know if I said it on there, but hey, top 10 next year is where we're going to finish. And I say that, and I will live by that. I'm making the futures bet that we're going to win a national championship, okay? That's what I'm gonna say, because it may happen. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, but we're gonna finish in the top 10. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But that's just, I mean, it's just Brian Kelly is doing things. He's doing things. That's just the best way to put it.
Yeah, I agree. There's no other way. There's no other way to put it simpler. I mean, he's done it in such a quick turnaround type of way. Everybody counted out LSU even when Coach O was here, and then he got let go, and it's like, oh, who are they going to hire? Oh, Brian Kelly doesn't work. Now we got the number 2 transfer portal class in America, and we have no business being ranked number 9 overall in recruiting. No business.
I don't think anybody
in a transfer year, we have no business being ranked number 9 with a guy who doesn't fit the culture.
It's true. And
look, no business, but we are.
I don't think anybody really expected Brian, or no, let me say that better. I don't think anybody questioned Brian Kelly's ability to coach. I think everyone, and I'll say this, for the first like 5 hours, I was kind of like, oh man, like he has a hard time finishing. But then you start thinking, oh man, but this dude only had Catholic people that had to have a 3.2 GPA. He only had this much talent in this, and he was in this well, he's not even in a conference. And he was like still making it. And it's like, man, well, you're not going to beat Alabama with this team. It's just not going to happen. Well, then wait a minute. Now you're giving him 5 stars, a bunch of 4 stars. You're giving him the best. Obviously, now we see where you're giving him the best transfer class. Screw you, Lane Kiffin. But I mean, now it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute. Like Brian Kelly is, you give him talent. Let's go see what he can do. Like I personally think like this man can coach. Now you give him talent. Oh, this man actually has a chance at beating Bama and beating these teams. Like we're gonna compete. Like there's no doubt. Like we may not be the next Bama, like that. We may not be the dynasty like that, but I'm telling you right now, we're gonna be in the top 15 almost every year, in my personal opinion. Like we're gonna be up there. Bama will be the competition every year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. There's no doubt that I cannot wait till September. I mean, I'm ready for the spring game already, but I want to go to the spring game. But
spring game's gonna be fun.
It will be fun, but I'm ready for September, man. I mean, I can't wait for it. It's gonna be a good time in Baton Rouge again. And we were still packing it when we went 5-5 and 6-6. So I'm not worried about it. But like,
but it's gonna be 2019. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be 2019 fucking packed. And if he starts winning and keeps winning, oh my God.
Absolutely, man.
Dude, it's going to be look, the student section last year was amazing. And we were what we were. So right. I mean, you just imagine with a team that actually produces and performs, look, we can win 10 wins or we can win 10 games, and I promise you everybody's gonna be happy.
Right.
We will be more than happy.
10 games whenever you won 11 in the past 2 seasons. That's
exactly.
There's no way to
because that's back to the standard. That's back to the standard. Now, obviously, we want the standard to be championships, but it's back to the standard. You're winning 10 games, and that's your low point.
Right.
Okay, that's your low point. Guess what? Every so often, every other year, every third year, something like that, you're going to be in the running. You're going to be up there. You're going to be in the top 5. You're going to be in a championship. You're going to be in the B. And not BCS, the college football playoff. But you're going to be up there. You know, you're going to be in that top 4 and being able to have to contend and be up in the conversation for a national championship. So that's what the standard for us is.
Right. I'm looking forward to next season and the following 9 seasons after that, because we got this guy for 10 seasons on under contract at least. Hopefully it lasts that long. So yeah, cheers to that. Some moving on to a little bit more pro football. Moment of silence.
Sad news.
Moment of silence
today.
It's very, very, very funny that if you guys haven't seen it, I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen one scene that somebody posted on Twitter. Home team with Kevin James playing Sean Payton whenever he got suspended for Bountygate. That whole story is in a movie now, and Sean Payton has a cameo in the movie. He's a janitor, and he pays homage to a janitor that actually worked at the building named Lionel. So his name is Lionel in the movie, and he tells Kevin James, who is playing Sean Payton tells Sean Payton, "We suck without you." And in real life, he retired the day before this movie came out. So man really said, I'm living a movie. Like, we suck without him. And we did that year. And there was 3 years we sucked with him. But like, we're unless we get a good coach and figure out this $72 million over the cap like we did last year, because we were like 93 million over the cap last year. I'm not worried about it, but like, we got to figure that out. That's number 1, and good coach is number 2. Because the reason I put a good coach number 2 is because a good coach ain't gonna be able to do nothing without players. We have to reach.
Oh man, I mean, absolutely.
So again, we're gonna have to do all this, cat magic like Mickey Loomis did last year. So, but sad news: Sean Payton has retired after 16 seasons with the Saints. And thank you. I mean, that's all I have to say. Thank you. I'm sure Tyler echoes that sentiment. There's no way we got Drew Brees and him in the same year in 2006, the year after the devastating storm, Hurricane Katrina. So many people in New Orleans were devastated, not just in New Orleans, the outskirts of New Orleans, and even farther east and west got destroyed from that. And him and Drew Brees picked up a whole state in 1 year and made it to the NFC Championship that year. And obviously that was home to Rebirth that season. with Steve Gleason blocking a punt, and so many different things that Sean Payton and Drew Brees, who obviously retired last year, did for the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, that there's no way for anybody to be able to thank either one of them enough. So that's what the moment of silence was for, just because, RIP Saints. Looking forward to see who they hire. We're looking at interviewing B-Flow, Brian Flores, looking at interviewing who was the other one?
Brian Flores.
There was a couple of them, I forget, but there's two or three guys that we're looking to interview, and Brian Flores being one of them. But I'm looking forward to seeing who Mickey Loomis hires. I trust him because he's the one that brought Drew and Sean here. So there's no way you can't trust him. But I'm looking forward to the future. Hopefully, Jameis comes back healthy, because he was 5-2 last year, had 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So very, very excited about the future. And some more retirement news. Obviously, you got Big Ben Roethlisberger, 18 years with the Steelers, 2 Super Bowls, 6 Pro Bowls, all that, legendary career. Another one, Tom Brady. Bye-bye Bucks fans, but as much as I've disliked Tom Brady as a person, just the way that he acts, he's a good guy. I'm not going to take that away from him, but the way he acts as a person on the side, like a player on the sidelines, you cannot sit there and doubt anything he's done on the field. Dude was picked 199, and second year first year he started, second year in the league, won a Super Bowl, and by the time he had 5 years in the league, he won 3 Super Bowls, and now he's got 7. So RIP Bucks fans, 2019 to 2022, or 2020 to 2022. So God bless you guys. Hope you find a good hermit crab shell to crawl back into. Because have fun with Kyle Trask and Blaine Gabbert. Simple as that. But
all I have to say is
RIP to a legend, Tom Brady. He didn't die. His career's just over.
I hate Tom Brady, but Tom Brady is no doubt the GOAT. It is what it is. I hate it. I hate to say it because of Drew Brees. I really do. I hate to say it. He's now surpassed all of Drew Brees' record because he played, obviously, another season past Drew Brees. But, he was a hell of a dude. I mean, at 44 years old, what he did this season, I get he has 17 games now. So he was able to kind of get an extra game pass. But the dude literally, even in 16 games, he would have had a hell of a season. At 44 years old, to do what he did, still can't beat the Saints for a buck, except for in the playoffs. Maybe it just wouldn't have mattered, I guess. But, still got shut out.
Hey, I should have bet the 49ers Rams game for the Rams to beat the 49ers 20-17, because if I would have done that and gotten my bet right, I would have won $579,000.
Wait, what?
My sister's boyfriend just sent me a screenshot. Parlay, 2-leg parlay. The Bengals score, correct score. Rams and 49ers finishing 2017. Plus 13,000 and plus 22,000 individually, but it was plus 2,895,000 odds. And off a $20 bet, he won $579,000 and $20.
Jesus.
So all I had to do was bet 20-17 for the Rams and 49ers. How wild would that have been, dude?
That's wild.
That would have been absolutely wild, dude. But yeah, man. Tom Brady's the GOAT. There's no doubt in that. Nobody ever could. I was in denial for the past, 5 years. Then I watched this dude lead the league in passing and touchdowns and completion percentage and completions at 44 years old. I mean, dude, come on, man. There's no way to do it. R.I.P. I'm sorry. Wait. R.I.P.P. Oh, all right. We got to talk about a couple more things. We're gonna end the pod in here in a minute, but LSU basketball, men's basketball has been in a little bit of a slump, but we're coming back. We're starting to catch a little bit of groove in some of these games. So I'm looking forward to it. But we are now 16-5. We're still number 19. So not doing bad at all. But the women's are doing really, really well. I'm looking forward to watching them. They're now 18-4. They're number 12.
They just won today against Kentucky, who's a good team.
Against Kentucky. They won that game 78-69. And only bad part is they lost to an unranked Arkansas by 24. Nope. Just kidding. 14. Thank goodness I was wrong. It sounded a lot worse. But we're looking really good, and baseball season is around the corner, and I cannot wait. And this will be the last thing we talk about because we can't leave it out. I was skeptical at first, but I'm actually really pumped for Desimo's reign at UL. I think
why?
Because you see the guys that are staying there, and it may not be the big name guys.
Yeah.
But you see what they say about even the guys that have left, Kyron Lacey, Garner. You see the guys that have left and what Billy had to say for him on the way out once he was named the head coach.
They have some good guys coming in too.
He's been there for a while, so the players know him.
He was a quarterback. I mean, he played there and now he coached there.
Right. I'm excited about it. The guys that are staying there have nothing but glowing reviews about him as a coach and as a person, and he's a local. So it's
kind of a Coach O type of deal.
He's gonna do whatever he can to make the city of Lafayette happy because he's from around here. So he's from New Iberia. So I'm excited to see the future of Raging Cajuns. Obviously, we got baseball and basketball. Baseball coming soon. Basketball going on right now. Softball as well, obviously. But whenever you have a transition year, all eyes are on football, man. Hopefully, Coach Deggs with baseball can get us to another super regional, maybe to Omaha again. So we're looking forward to that. We're still going to try to get him on the pod. Stop ducking me, Coach. But it's looking to be a really fun time. Oh, baseball still sucks because there's none right now. We may not even have a season this year, or we might lose games because owners are.
That's gonna be depressing.
Owners are greedy. It's gonna be another COVID year because they're gonna start losing money when the season starts. Unofficially, the timeline for the season starts, and we aren't playing baseball. Then people are gonna start hurrying to get this CBA worked out and in this lockout and get to play baseball because they cannot even have a training camp right now. Obviously, players can practice and train on their own and do whatever they want individually or together as players, but they can't be affiliated with the team at all. So when it comes to the lockout, this has to end pretty quick, or else come February, March, we're not going to have a training camp, and it's going to kind of our spring training. We're not going to have a spring training. It's going to kind of suck because then it's going to push back the season already because you hit March, that's when spring training starts, and they might shorten spring training if that's how they vote on it, but I doubt it because then that brings up more injuries for players, and it's just a risk. It's a liability, so I don't think that's going to happen. So if we get to March and if this thing isn't figured out, we're going to have a shorter season, and it might only be 130 games instead of 162. So it's not going to be too bad of a short.
Another COVID year.
It's not going to be like 60 games, which is dumb, but it's definitely not going to be 162 if we don't get to March before this is figured out, or if we get to March before this is figured out. Sorry. So that's what's going on in our worlds. Like I said before, if you're just listening on Spotify, like, share, subscribe, rate 5 stars, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Tap that thing like 70,000 times while you're on your phone or something. I don't know. But if you're only listening, go look us up on YouTube. Same name as the podcast on Spotify, Ted Does Sports. I'm going to be doing that within the next couple of days. So we'll probably continue with the Monday upload. I know it's been a while since you've heard from us. And last but not least, it won't happen again, right, Tyler? Dude's just grinning at me for you, just listening.
Hey, don't blame me. It's life, bro. I moved into a house. I started a new job. I got 3 kids. It's life. But we're back. Like we never left.
You've had 3 kids for longer than we've been on the pod, so well, no, you've only had 2 technically, I guess, but
I moved those 3 kids into a new house. I started a new job.
when did you move into that one?
Listen, my wife wants things from me.
When did you move into that house?
The 17th of December, a month ago.
All right.
Okay, my wife wants things from me, people.
His wife wants things from him, if you can figure out what that means. Love you guys. Love you guys. Peace out. Oh, by the way, for context, it's 9:45 at night. Love you guys.
The kids just went to sleep.
Seriously, 9:45. It's Sunday night. About to not happen for another week. So, love you guys. Rate 5 stars. Comment, like, subscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Follow us on YouTube. Ted Does Sports. Peace out, homies.